I'm back. Belushi's Farm. Marijuana, cannabis, reefer.
Congrats on the launch of season 2 of Growing Belushi on Discovery.
Yes!
For those not yet familiar, can you talk a little bit about the origin of the show and why you wanted to document this endeavor?
Well, the origin of the show is I have this farm in Oregon, and I didn't know what to grow. I had 93 acres, and cannabis became legal recreationally, and I went, wow, it's a new agriculture. So I started off with these really hip growers. One was Captain Jack, friend of Dan Aykroyd's, who brought seeds from Afghanistan in the 70s. He knew Danny through SNL because he was the weed dealer for Danny and SNL. And I swear Coneheads came out of this and all those crazy ideas.
What else do people like to bite?
A trapeze.
It is the greatest medicine. It gives you energy. It's very creative. Anyway, Captain Jack came and grew 48 plants along with Jeffrey Iverson, another geneticist out of San Francisco. And it just grew from there.
How did these folks in rural Oregon respond when you set up shop there? You started growing there. I mean, yeah, it was legal, but I'm sure there was maybe a little bit of surprise from your neighbors there.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You know, Oregon is a very cool state, super cool, and has really different demographics. We're very conservative, very liberal. I'm kind of in more of a rural area, and you know, they looked at me like, what's this guy doing? What's he gonna do? And by the way, the cannabis industry in Oregon was like, we don't need no Hollywood guy here. We grow the greatest marijuana in the country, which, by the way, Oregon does. When those borders go down, Oregon and Northern California is going to be like Napa is to wine. I had to earn my way in the cannabis industry and in the neighborhood. I just became part of the community, but it took me time to earn my way there. Now I consider myself an Oregonian.
Are you the first to try your own strains?
Well, I'm kind of a lightweight. Black Diamond that we have is really great in medicine. My veterans love it. Then I have one called Chocolate Hashberry, which I'm scared of. It's like 28 THC. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I have this thing called Cherry Pie, which I really like because it's a low THC, like a 19, and it has about 3% terpenes. Terpenes are the flavor. Like when you take a sip of wine, you go, earthy feeling. And the combination of the two together creates an entourage effect that just chills you. And your wife doesn't even know if you took a hit. And I mean, there's a story I tell where I came down the stairs one night and my wife said, "Are you hungry?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What do you have a taste for?" I said, "A cheeseburger." And she goes, "It's a little heavy for me. Is there anything else?" I said, "Well, how about that sushi place down the street?" She goes, "Oh, honey, I had sushi with my mom last night. Anything else?" And I'm like, "Why are you even bothering asking me?" She goes, whoa. So the next night I took one hit of the cherry pie, came downstairs and she was like 10 of them. You know, she goes, "Are you hungry?" "Yeah." "Is there any place you'd like to go to eat?" And I go, "Baby, we can go to Taco Bell as long as you're sitting across from me." "Aren't you being charming?" "Oh, am I?" So I call it the marriage counselor. Cherry pie, right?
You started selling Blues Brothers products. I believe they're joints. Tell us about those. I think the response has been pretty good so far.
Well, yeah, that's the opening of the second season, and that is we're selling out of Blues Brothers Baby Blues. They're these little 0.25 joints, you know, in a little 6-pack. Danny calls them parking lot joints, meaning like before you go to your shift from 11 to 7, you get out of the car, you take a couple hits, you toss it like a cigarette butt, and you're ready to work all night on those engines.
The Belushi name in general means so much to so many people. Your late brother John remains so beloved. Is there anything you do to celebrate John's life and legacy in your own life that you can share with us?
Oh, yeah. Well, one is putting the Blues Brothers on this cannabis because, you know, he died of a drug overdose. Mm-hmm. And I really think if he was, Danny said it, if he was a pothead, he'd be alive today because it's a great medicine. I believe he had CTE from playing football, and I believe a lot of his behavior stemmed from that. So I honor him every day with this brand. But also, I do the Blues Brothers and Danny Aykroyd, and at the end of the show, I stop the show and we dedicate She Caught the Katie to Jake Blues. So yeah, Danny and I try to bring him down to the stage for that last song, you know. There's an old saying that goes like this: when you drink the water, remember the men or women who dug the well. John dug the well for me. I'm drinking a lot of water. I'd be working at my dad's restaurant right now if it wasn't for John showing that there's another way, another profession. John led a path for me that I've been enjoying this great life, and of course I honor him.